So, Mikey, 3 Florida hillbillies are sitting on a porch shooting the breeze.
I think it's ironic.
Yeah,
I was just talking about that.
Yeah. First hillbilly says...
They weren't shooting a breeze. They were selling knives at the expo. I'm sorry. I'm done.
First hillbilly says, my wife sure is stupid. She bought an air conditioner. Second hillbilly says, why is that stupid? First hillbilly says, we ain't got no electricity. Second hillbilly says, that's nothing. My wife is so stupid, she bought one of them newfangled washing machines. The first hillbilly says, why is that so stupid? Second hillbilly says, 'cause we ain't got no plumbing. The third hillbilly speaks up. He says, that ain't nothing. My wife is dumber than both your wives put together. I was going through her purse the other day looking for change and found 6 condoms in there. First and second hillbillies say, well, what's so dumb about that? Or I got to do it in my hillbilly voice.
Yeah, I was like, you broke character.
Yeah. Well, what's so dumb about that? Third hillbilly says, she ain't got no pecker.
You know what? I was thinking, like, I'm having a hard time following all this hillbilly stuff because you kept going back to, like, hillbilly 1, hillbilly 2, and what they were saying and everything.
Okay.
She ain't got no pecker.
Okay. Got one more. An elderly, and all of this ties into today's.
We're going to talk about peckers?
Yeah, well, no, this is another of our the in-between episodes. And so it all kind of falls into place here. You'll see.
But it's called Do Not Kiss. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. An elderly Florida lady did her shopping and upon returning to her car, found 4 males in the act of leaving with her vehicle. She dropped her shopping bags and drew her handgun, proceeding to scream at the top of her lungs, I have a gun and I know how to use it. Get out of my car. The 4 men didn't wait for a second threat. They got out and ran like mad. The lady, somewhat shaken, then proceeded to load her shopping bags into the back of the car and got into the driver's seat. She was so shaken that she could not get her key in the ignition. She tried and tried, and then she realized why. It was for the same reason she had wondered why there was a football, a frisbee, and 2 12-packs of beer in the front seat. A few minutes later, she found her own car parked 4 or 5 paces down. She loaded her bags into her car and drove to the police station to report her mistake. The sergeant to whom she told the story couldn't stop laughing. He pointed to the other end of the counter where 4 pale men were reporting a carjacking by a mad elderly woman described as white, less than 5 feet tall, glasses, curly white hair, and carrying a large handgun. Yeah, I'm going to add something to this, and this is a true story. So I come out of the museum on Friday.
Oh my gosh, this was recent.
This was recent. I come out of that museum Friday. All I want to do is go home. And where I normally park, which is over there next to you, there was a red pickup parked there. And I go over there, and as I'm getting closer to this pickup, I'm seeing there's a huge scratch down the side, and it's filthy. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I'm doing this and realize, oh, wait a minute. This isn't my pickup. So. We're back. Welcome.
I used to play that video game as a kid. on Super Nintendo. Somebody out there knows it was a dinosaur video game. We're back is what it's called. Oh, first it was a cartoon. I played the video game. Never saw the cartoon. Just it was a cartoon. He's so rude. Do you see that?
Not me, by the way, listeners. It was her husband, Brett. He's here. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to episode 22 of Mr. Robin's Hood podcast. Another of the in-between episodes. I'm not getting used to that.
The in-between.
The in-between.
We'll take a vote. Who thinks it should be the in-between and who thinks it should just be in-between? Because in-between is a negative. It's the in-between. It's the
in-between. I got it. Meaning these episodes fall in between our regular 2 podcast episodes on the 1st and 15th of every month. The content will come from my old Cosmic City blog posts starting in 2016. Some of these are really funny. I'm Mr. Robin, your rabid skunk-kissing co-host for these train wreck podcasts. I am joined, as always, by my collaborative co-defendant and all-around best pal, Mikkel Murray Robinson, a.k.a. Mikey-on-the-Mic, who denies ever having played Naked Twister with an angry badger. We have video.
He does not have video. When he says that, he does not have it.
So, Mikey, today's episode originally ran in the Cosmic City blog on January 25th, 2016, and followed a common trend on social media at the time known as Florida Man. It always seemed that someone in Florida was doing some weird shit and finding themselves on fringe media for vultures such as myself to swoop in and make fun of them.
Can I add something?
Sure.
That's very true. Because January 25th, 2016, I would have been working at the radio station. And we would talk about stories, just funny stories that we'd find online, talk about in the morning show. And there was always funny stuff in Florida. Like, I maybe talked about this story on a morning show back then. I don't know. Carry on.
Okay. So today's subject is a shining example of that, namely the Florida weird shit going on, and is almost as stupid as the guy who thought he could remove some of the fluid from his overfilled car battery by sucking it partway up the straw and then spitting it out onto the ground.
I'm pretty sure I remember this.
But I digress. The original title of this blog post was Fear of Flying, a veritable septumvirate of hapless savagery in the Sunshine State. Boy, did I come up with some weird fucking title.
Yes.
Huh? I
was just about to say, what the... when I was in 7th grade...
Yeah.
I've heard the title Fear of Flying, but I didn't know who it was by or anything else. But when I was in the 7th grade, I did a science fair project on my cockatiel, and you would clip its wings so it couldn't fly away, because he'd do that. I had to chase him down. He was gone for 3 days. It was maddening and whatever. But anyhow, I called the science fair project, or like the project, to fly or not to fly. That is the question, right? That was the title of it. And then I did the project on, I would cut his wings and I would take a Polaroid. It didn't hurt them. It's like cutting their nails kind of thing, right? Just so they couldn't get enough to fly away, because then they fly away and they couldn't take care of themselves because they didn't live in the wild. That was just like the instinct. They wanted to just fly away. But he was my pal. But anyhow, so I clipped him, and then I just saw how far he could fly in between the amount of clippings. You know what I mean? That was safe and humane, Marianne. I was like, not hurting the bird, I swear to God. And so this fear of flying reminded me of that. Right?
Okay.
So I just wanted to share it.
Thank you.
I won, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
The 7th grade.
Great.
Science fair project. Yeah, with that. To fly or not to fly.
Okay, here we go. I've always kind of thought of Florida as being someplace kind of special. I've lived there, in Pensacola, for several years, many, many years ago. People always referred to that coast of Florida that touches the Gulf of Mexico as the Redneck Riviera. Over the years since, whenever I've visited Florida's Gulf Coast, things haven't changed that much. You just have to be wary of the 4-H's. And no, not the positive youth development and mentoring organization known as 4-H. I was a member of that for more years than I can recall. My biggest takeaway was becoming a certified meat judge. Not kidding. For years.
You were a meat judge.
I was.
That's dirty.
I had to take training to get certified.
I'm a certified.
Oh, they're dirty coming. Okay.
I'm a certified meat judge. How would you like me to measure?
Just hang on.
You walked into it.
I know. For years thereafter, I could walk into a supermarket
In there.
and begin judging cuts of beef. Too much marbling, not enough marbling. Color is good, color is bad. I'm ruined for life. The woman who taught the course was with the OSU Extension Office there in Woodward. She had it in for me. Of course, I wasn't helping myself. I would panic whenever she called my name as we were doing. Okay, meat flash slides, where you had 2 seconds to identify a cut of beef projected on the wall. I don't think I ever made it to a 4-H meat judging contest. I wasn't fast enough on the meat identification. Still,
Oh
she certified me.
She's like, this guy knows a piece of meat if he sees it. A+.
You couldn't fail something in 4-H. The extension officer would get a reputation as a failer.
What?
But I digress. Nope. I'm talking about Florida 4-H's here.
Yeah, it's definitely in Florida, not Oklahoma.
Things to avoid.
They'd be like, you don't know shit about me here. They would. They just saying.
Okay. Things to avoid in the Sunshine State. Number 1, hurricanes. Generally, you have some warning and get the hell out of the way, unless, of course, you make your living as a TV weather guesser and want to do your weather report while holding on to a lamppost in 110-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh my gosh, to talk about the last in between, the Waffle House it's the weather index. Right?
Oh, right.
Right? Is that what I read?
Yeah, you can judge the severity of a storm by whether or not your local Waffle House shut down or not.
So funny. Sorry, just had to add that.
2 of the Florida 4-H's is humidity. Almost impossible to avoid unless you choose to live your life indoors and only venture out at night like a friggin' vampire, which brings us to number 3. Highway serial killers. This seems to be a very Florida sort of thing and makes hitchhiking in Florida impossible, not to mention lethal. And 4,
hillbillies.
They're everywhere.
Even right here in this house right now. No, I'm kidding.
You just don't see them. Inbred, old-school Floridians who switched from producing shine to meth, depending on their market and the availability of anhydrous ammonia.
They're so advanced.
Yeah.
They're so advanced here.
Now, I suppose we can add yet another H to the Florida quadumvirate, which I suppose will turn it into a quintumvirate. The 5th H, we're going to get a load of shit about this from Bob Ray.
You and all your big words. I can't wait to hear what Bob Ray has to say about this. He's going to be angry. We're even talking about it. Yeah, let's send it to your brother in Florida. I want his take on it.
The 5th H will be hawks, or more specifically, kestrels, which are technically falcons, but falcon doesn't start with H, and it's my blog. So if I say a kestrel is a hawk, then a kestrel is a hawk. Enough said.
All right, that's what we're doing now. What I say is what happens.
For those of you ornithologically challenged, the kestrel is a small, about the size of a large robin. No jokes about this large robin, please. Bird of prey found in the areas of Florida. There was an article on the Huffington Post website about some idiot. We'll call him Hapless Homemaker. Ha ha! Another H to add to a sextumvirate. Sounds dirty, huh? Hapless Homeowner finds what he thinks is a tame kestrel in his yard. He saw the bird sitting in his yard. It didn't move when he approached it and picked it up to take it inside his house.
I'm Googling what a kestrel looks like. This one says kestrel falcon.
Okay. He told the Animal League people that he thought the bird was actually liked him because it was acting strangely calm. Okay, cue the sappy orchestral music. We have a 70s wildlife film in the making here. Girl travels to Africa to live among a pride of lions and record their every bowel movement for 10 years of her life, only to be eaten by the pride and made a part of their bowel movement.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
See where this is heading? So Hapless Homeowner names his new pet Homer. There's the seventh H in our Florida septumvirate. And sets about making himself famous. He posts Homer's pic on Facebook, which comes to the attention of the local animal rescue organization, which immediately informs Hapless Homeowner that it is illegal, not to mention really stupid, to keep a live kestrel as a pet.
I'm looking at pictures of kestrels right now. And they're cute little fuckers. So I'm trying to see how you shouldn't keep one.
Hapless Homeowner agrees to hand the bird over to animal rescue people in exchange for them not ratting him out to local law enforcement. Betty was trying to
bribe him.
Yeah, Betty was trying to stay off the law's radar. Probably one of the aforementioned shine/meth entrepreneurs who had been sampling a bit too much of his product.
Never tried shine.
Guess he'd never heard Tony Montana's motto, "Don't get high on your own supply."
Guess not.
The animal rescue people showed up at Hapless Homeowner's home to collect the wild, predatory bird of prey. Stay with me here. Here comes Hapless. We'll call him Hap for now.
We're happy.
We all seem to be on familiar terms. Carrying the bird and bleeding profusely from the lower lip. In fact, there's a largest chunk of his lower lip that's missing. It seems old Hap saw the animal rescue people pull up to his hapless household and decided to give the bird of prey a goodbye kiss. Seriously. What a dumbass. Probably a good thing he didn't try to turn a Florida gator into a pet. That is, the amphibious reptile, not a college student, although that would fit if you were a Florida highway serial killer. According to the animal rescue people, the bird probably flew into the side of Hap's house and was stunned. That explains its calm mental state until dumbass tried to kiss it. Okay, kids. Pray tell, what have we learned? 1. Never try to kiss a bird of prey or any other wild animal goodbye. They're very resentful when you kick them out the door. Florida, number 2. Florida is a strange and savage place with more shine meth entrepreneurs per capita than anywhere in Oklahoma. 3. Next would have been the octumvirate. I know you were wondering. Number 4, when dealing with wild animals that find their way into your hapless life, there's a phrase in Latin that may help. Circulus rutrum clausa, which roughly translated is shoot, shovel, and shut up. Number 5, stay the hell out of Florida, which now I'm going to have to be because I've been nothing but slamming Florida.
Well, I've never been to Florida. And so maybe I shouldn't go.
Place. I'll send you in my place.
I better not go. I'm associated with you. The Floridians will hate me.
So that's it.
But I want one of their kestrels. I want to bring it home. I'm not going to kiss it though.
So that's it for this installment of The In-Between episodes. We hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back with episode 21 that we're tentatively calling The Poetry.
Until Robin comes up with a ridiculous other name like the name of this shit that we just did.
That one drops on October 15th. If you have any questions for Mikey or myself about today's episode or any other darn thing, you can email us at mr.robin@mrrobinshood.com or mikey@mrrobinshood.com. Also, you can find us on Facebook at Mr. Robin's Hood Podcast. As always, you can also reach out to Mikey. The fuck are you doing? Or me.
Taking your picture.
Via Podophone at 580-827-0472. Maybe you just want to get something off your chest.
Please don't.
Or you're feeling some butt pain because of something we said during a podcast. Give us a call. But know that we're not likely to answer because we're quickly becoming international podcast stars and are developing a following worldwide.
Particularly in Guatemala and Germany.
But we don't have staff yet. You can leave an email.
We have fans.
Leave a voicemail.
No staff.
You can leave us a voicemail. Text us.
Please
if you have questions, concerns, complaints, compliments, suggestions, whatever. Just don't be a dick about it.
Or do and direct it at Mr. Robin.
In the meantime, tell all your friends to listen to this podcast as though their lives depend upon it.
Because it does.
As always.
Let them know.
As always, you can stream or download episodes of Mr. Robin's Podcast wherever you usually find that sort of nonsense. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, the Podbean app, Apple Podcasts, and Podchaser. You can also stream them directly from our Podbean website.
Which is probably the best option because we can track that shit. That's how we know you're from Germany and Guatemala.
Ding, ding, ding. At Mr. Robin's Hood podcast.podbean.com. And
for
do
free.
It for free. That's right.
We're really cheap.
So we'll close now by reminding everyone, as we always do, to stay hungry,
stay foolish, and most importantly, stay weird.
Happy
Halloween, everyone.
Bye.